against these two teams, because take a look at this. Syndra again taken away from SozPurefec, Fizz again taken away from Takefun.
Yeah, so if this is anything to go by, there's going to be a Jarvan ban and a LeBlanc ban. I understand the Jarvan ban. It's a big part of Obvious's kit. But at the same time, I don't feel like you should ban that out if you're going to pick a very passive jungler. I think the better answer to Obvious picking Jarvan, because we've seen and the experts talked about how nfaculty were kind of lacking on their ultimate usage together. The best answer to that is for Xayoo to pick something aggressive for himself, like Elise, get his impact on the game rather than reducing his enemies.
Yeah, but we'll see if they make that change, because they did indeed in the third game of the game we saw yesterday, but then it just didn't work out anyway because they were just too off kilter. But Irelia is banned away here, of course, against Kubon, because last game was an indicator of we can't leave that open anymore. So they're actually going to be losing a ban towards what they were throwing before to the jungle. So it will be Orianne and LeBlanc, and the first pick of Zed now coming in. Yeah,
and this is the pick that has been banned in every single other game against Takefun. And with LeBlanc banned away by nfaculty, you can even see Reason pretty happy about this Zed pick as a first pick. There's a reason it's banned away from Takefun. He is an exceptionally good Zed player in his toolkit. And now what are they going to pick against it?
You know, I'm almost a little surprised Zed got through, at least over Fizz, because Zed has always been that ban against him. But we'll see what they do to try and counteract that, Zed.
There's a lot still available. Gnar still up. Pantheon, as you can see, hovering over. Lee Sin, once again, still available. There is so much still on the table for both teams that if nfaculty lock in this Pantheon Janna, that's very reminiscent of what we've been seeing teams over in Korea playing, especially on the high priority on Janna. If they lock this in, that's actually a very strong duo lane if they do, although I don't think Graves is that big of a pick that he should be this early on in the draft, considering there are so many high pick champions available. Gnar's still up there and hasn't been picked.
Yeah, okay, so they do decide to lock in that Janna. You just spoke about that. We've seen that in OGN, but now they bring out the Lucian as well, which again is one of those top-tier AD carries sitting in the top 3, but that's what they choose to prioritize here against Reason Gaming.
And it tells me that they really want to try and just get the best possible solo lane matchups that they can ever get. Lucian Janna is still good, but I don't know whether it's first pick worthy. Janna, yes, in a lot of circumstances. Lucian, I'm questioning.
Okay, so Reason Gaming come in again with the Elise for Xayoo. Maybe questionable, but it worked out last game. So if it isn't broke, why try and fix it this game? Either way, we're going to be seeing that for the jungle role, and then the Corki in response to the Lucian for the bot lane for Celaver.
Yeah, Xayoo on Elise, again, Lee Sin is available. And I'm going to become a broken record because there's a reason it's his highest played champion. Xayoo is a very good Lee Sin, but Elise, he's kind of been a little bit hit and miss on so far for me. He has to kind of change that up coming into this game.
So, nfaculty come in with another 2 quick-fire picks of Ahri for SozPurefec. Again, didn't do badly in the last game, but he'll be taking that again, feeling that he can do better in the second game. And then Kha'Zix now coming out for nfaculty as well.
Yeah, SozPurefec really didn't show us anything on Ahri at the same time. They were talking about it on the analyst desk. They didn't combo the ultimates with Pantheon and Ahri, and that combination was available here for this game. Clearly didn't like how it worked out. And Kha'Zix as a jungler is on 420 and 421 is not as effective as in previous patches. He drops very low off a lot of camps, and it's only when you get that reset in team fights that you can actually get a lot of damage. So he still has his utility, well, still has his place in the game, but is certainly not the highest tier of junglers.
So in response here, we will have the Rumble now coming out from Reason Gaming as well, throwing that in the top lane, also with the Alistar as well. Saw that in the last game, saw that in fact with Orianna as opposed to the Zed, but felt it works in last game. Going to be going alongside the Corki in this one.
So Rumble is going to kind of account for a lot of the AP that's missing when you pick a Zed in the mid lane. I have a feeling though, picking Rumble first into a matchup when there's so much still available, the Gnar into Rumble matchup is actually okay for Gnar. He still does very well in it. There's also other options still available. A Kassadin. Maokai is a bad lane matchup for Rumble, but still his ultimate has his usefulness in team fights. And with the amount of disengage, we're going for something different in this game then. As is that I'm lost. This has caught me completely off guard. This isn't in any of my notes. I've not seen any of this before. This is a very different combination out of nfaculty, and when you're this close to being out of the LCS expansion, Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Backs up against the wall. This is the time to bring out new picks. This is the time to bring out something that could completely throw off your opponent. Annie for the top lane, and they're not choosing to swap up here, so we've already got Mountain on the Janna. Now we look at the top lane for the Annie for Xaxus.
I'm going to watch it on my screen, just in case they swap around. Yeah, I don't think they will. But I mean, I don't know. This is something I haven't seen before, and it's caught me completely off guard. So I'm going to talk about Reason for a little bit while we figure out what's going on. On the Reason lineup, Alistar once again with Corki. This is just a very good mid-game team that Reason have right now. Zed is going to be able to blow somebody up. You've got the Equalizer as well. There's so much kill potential out of Reason Gaming in their lineup. Okay, so it locks as an Annie top lane. Welcome to a little bit craziness here.
Yeah, but we can break this down because at least we have Ahri, Kha'Zix, Lucian, and Janna, which we have been seeing as mainstays. Maybe less so Kha'Zix, but we've seen these champions time and time again. What does that give the team? We've got the Lucian with the high mobility and some disengage from Janna.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions going into this game, and you can see Reason is still discussing it for themselves as well.
Yeah, they'll have to make some quick analysis as they head into this game, because we are just about ready to head onto the Rift. And just 10 seconds in, with Reason Gaming ready to head out of the gate, and nfaculty on the upper right-hand corner this time will be launching themselves off the starting block and getting into their jungle.
So I had a conversation with a couple of people, Deficio included, about there's some different top laners coming through, a lot of names being thrown about, because it's slightly easier to get through the game or through the laning phase as a top laner right now. There's a lot less importance on Dragon because of the changes to how you can kite it around, so no more risk of dragons being done very early in the game. It allows for lane swaps. You can get a solo laner into the mid-game phase fairly easily, and I wonder whether that is what nfaculty are going to be relying on here, because Annie does have a fair auto-attack range, so her laning presence isn't going to be too bad, but she is very squishy, and that is something they've got to watch out for. But the engage potential from Annie is going to be insane, and this is an Annie building full damage as well, you have to imagine. A lot of Annies we've seen have been building the support route all the way through the 2014 and 2013 season, ever since Tabe Worlds showed us all the way back last year.
Well, that was Annie's support.
Yes.
But, yeah, we'll see what happens with Annie top lane. Of course, as you were talking about his, or rather her attack range, 625, which is comparable to Caitlyn's range in the bottom lane for the AD carry at 650.
So let's take a look at the start here out of nfaculty with regards to wards. It's been a big talking point here. As actually, this is a little bit different. Reason is showing us something that we don't normally see before, but they're going to try and invade on these top lane Krugs. And I wonder whether Xaxus was looking to maybe... he wouldn't be starting there, but oh, this is a very different play out of Reason, just pulling that lane away. Going to try and set that lane up perfectly for themselves.
Yeah, we almost never see this, but going around the side with the help of the rest of his team, will be able to do that. Sedrion trading off against Kubon in the bottom lane. Kind of caught out there, had to take the full brunt of those damage from the Electro Harpoons before Mountain gets into the bottom lane. But there's lots of roaming going on here. Xayoo is taking up the enemy red buff, and Obvious has read this play. Mountain has as well, and they'll be setting up the red buff on the bottom side jungle.
This is a very different start to this game, and that is an aggressive setup out of Reason to basically say, hey, we see you there, Annie. We're just going to pull the wave and try and force you to lose a lot of experience with the zoning, or at least lose a lot of farm as well. But we'll have to watch out as to how that ends up. A little bit of trouble on red buff here out of Obvious, and we already talked a bit about how Kha'Zix does struggle with regards to making it through the early jungle, so that's why they needed Mountain there as well. His smite is not yet available, and you can see he's taking a lot of damage because of it.
Yeah, he actually generated around 500 health, which was disastrous for Obvious really there, as they were trying to just kite it on the very edge of its aggro range, which kind of fell flat on its face. But Obvious now in the bottom lane, maybe able to do something. He is completely dry of health potions, so this will have to be the most surgical gank of his life if he's trying to get the damage onto Kubon. But he already knows he's around the area, and he backs away from this turret. So a fast push in the bottom lane of these three players.
And this is very different to what we normally see in the current set of lane setups, but it's mid lane that Xayoo is looking to get in.
Here comes the aggression, now into human form, throws out the cocoon, doesn't quite land, but the volatile spiraling will indeed. SozPurefec taking a bunch of damage. Xaxus also roamed from the top lane, wasn't quite there in time to land the incinerate.
So you can see why Annie's roamed down. The amount of minions pushing in towards Corki in the top side means that Annie would have to be drawn so far away from her turret that she really just can't sit there and is having to find other options to get into this game. Only level 2 still. And it's more common from what we're seeing out of Reason as to what is happening with regards to supports right now. They leave the AD carry on their own in the solo lane and put the support with a top laner. But the fact of the matter is Sedrion right now is laning with Mountain still and is even on CS. And that means that Corki is going to have a lot more experience at this setup. And Sedrion may need a little bit more time to farm, but Xayoo, ooh, is he going to get it?
Oh, Cocoon over the wall, completely blind. Level 2 Annie is not very tanky at all, and will send her packing back to base. Xaxus is suffering so much in this game. 8 CS, and can't do anything at all.
Really nice Cocoon there out of Xayoo as well. And he's being more proactive. That is one thing to note about Xayoo in this game. They got that invade, they played aggressively to begin with, and this is the change that maybe they needed. Maybe it wasn't the champion, but I guess at this point, Reason, they have a little bit of a breathing room with regards to the 1-game lead they have, but they still need to keep making these adjustments. I think it's going a lot better right now for Reason than it has done in previous games.
Absolutely. 500 gold ahead, or rather 200 gold ahead now, but it is too early to tell. Lots of money in the bank for all of these lanes before they head back to base and pick up their first components of their big items. Obvious in the top lane now with Xaxus just trying to play up alongside him. Xayoo will be trying to recall, but clearing out the minion as well with the razor sharp buff from the Raptors.
Jungle itemization is also kind of an indicator on Kha'Zix's weakness right now in the jungle. He's opted for the Ranger's Trailblazer and needs that extra clear help, as really he just suffers too much in the camps. As I said, he's not out of the game completely. Once he gets his ultimate his resets and his ultimate during the team fight, he's still very strong, still has a lot of damage, but they need to get Obvious into the game at that point. And if they're too far behind by then, nfaculty may have far more of a problem than just being a little bit behind.
Well, when your solo laner is level 3, that is kind of one of the biggest tells that something is going wrong. Bottom lane, though, we will have these two guys going up against each other. Mountain, of course, on that Janna, Sedrion on Lucian, and Kubon is actually laning with Alistar here on his Rumble.
And there's a lot of damage.
Oh, the headbutt pulverized onto Sedrion. Mountain trying to put out the damage as well. Sedrion has both of his summoners if he needs them, and the exhaust has to be burnt. The ignite goes down as well, but here is the shield just to eliminate some of that damage. But now Mountain is under attack. Kubon putting down the damage. Libik doesn't quite pin him against the wall with the headbutt. There's a lot of back and forth trading, but Reason Gaming come out way ahead.
Way ahead down in that bottom lane. This is going from bad to worse for nfaculty. They've had the support down there for Sedrion. He's still behind on CS, and right now he needs to get into this game. Rumble is doing much better than Annie as well. 35 CS to 12. But if they can get Xaxus into the game, Flash Tib is always going to be prevalent in an engage. He's still only level 3 though right now, and Kubon is between 5 and 6. That is a big disparity here. That means that if Reason look to group before Xaxus even has his ultimate available, that is no longer a factor.
Well, Xaxus does ding to level 4, but Xayoo finds himself in the top lane, and Obvious will be here to counter. But two ranged champions versus Obvious, who has to try and walk up to them, is very difficult. Phosphorus Bomb and that poke is punishing Xaxus incredibly hard.
It is indeed. Libik is up here now as well with those mobility boots to maybe look to set something up here, but they do have to be careful. A stun from Annie would potentially be enough. But taking a look at SozPurefec, this is another game that he's been on Ahri, and he really is struggling once again. They let Takefun have Zed, and he is so far ahead on CS now. 20 CS in a 1v1 lane, but Xaxus...
It's the top lane. First blood destroyed by the Phosphorus Bomb. Libik is here. The Valkyrie forwards very aggressive onto Obvious, but no more CC. SozPurefec may be here to clean up, but no one is low. We'll be using the Spirit Rush, tag Xayoo with the charm. Obvious now gets in range, but gets hit by the Cocoon and the pulverized flash from Libik. Celaver as well for the last auto attack, uses his own flash, but doesn't quite finish off Obvious.
He doesn't yet, and Teleport actually Oh no, recall, sorry, out of Ahri as Takefun in the mid lane, maybe looking to go aggressive.
Oh, Deathmark onto Xaxus, level 4 versus level 7. He will be jumping away, uses the Living Shadow clone, and that is a dead Annie.
Yeah, I thought I saw a teleport, and then Annie shows up. I'm still not used to Annie top, and Takefun just kills Xaxus as he teleports in. And that is a big use of teleport that Takefun just says, okay, you're level 4 right now, I'm just going to kill you.
Oh, Mountain playing with fire in the mid lane up against Takefun, but now Sedrion is here. He is much safer. That's just allowed Kubon to carry on farming in the bottom lane, and take a look at the difference between these laners. 51 farm to 18 on Annie. 2,300 gold compared to 1,600 is a terrible scoreline at this stage in the game. 9 minutes in.
It is a crushing difference between the two right now. nfaculty gonna need to group to try and fix this. They can't let Xaxus just go into these lanes because every single member of the Reason roster is stronger than Xaxus right now, and you can see how much trouble Xaxus is having. He's still only level 4, and we're 9.5 minutes into this game, and faculty need to group.
Faculty needs something for sure, but Takefun takes up the blue buff here in the middle lane. And up against SozPurefec again, just leading in this one. He has his most favored champion, Kubon out of the bush, puts the damage onto Sedrion, plus the equalizer, forces the flash. He has to juke back into it. The flash forward will be using it overheat passive to deal extra damage. The culling responds with a lot in turn, and both of them back off with very, very critical HP.
Yeah, a bit of a misread there out of Kubon. Thought he'd have the damage with the auto attacks, but the turret damage was just too much to deal with. Xaxus is finally 5, but he needs another level before he can actually get into this. And you can see how much nfaculty are having to put around Xaxus right now because he's too weak a factor for Reason to pretty much just pry apart. And Xaxus is caught. He has got that stun charged up, so a dive here could be really bad.
They are trying to move around the area, trying to set this up. It doesn't really work out. Reason Gaming constantly being on the aggressive, and they have absolutely made some changes to how they're playing out these games. They're just all over nfaculty, and they're punishing this Annie pick. We've hopped on about it, but it really is the main talking point of this game is Takefun with the Deathmark onto SozPurefec, uses his own ultimate in turn to try and juke away. Takefun takes a bunch of damage, and with the shurikens coming across, doesn't collect the kill.
You can see the difference for Takefun on one of his now most favored champions. He's playing aggressively all the time, diving between two turrets and just punishing nfaculty for whoever steps in that lane. He's still maintained a CS lead here over SozPurefec, and it is a good platform for Reason Gaming to have to head into the mid game.
So now, as we head into that mid game, let's take a look at some of the items. Taking a step back here, as Celaver will take up that top turret. Now in the middle lane, the Brutalizer finished off by Takefun. No real change there, but in the jungle, again, Xayoo picking up those mobility boots, and so is Libik. This is 2 games in a row now. They've really been prioritizing those early roams.
Yeah, and this time it's been working out a little bit better for Xayoo. You can see he's got the assist. He's been able to just be around Xaxus a lot as well. That's a lot of added pressure that won't be shown in stat lines. So Reason are looking a lot more aggressive and a lot more focused in this game, and that is definitely what everybody was saying they needed to adjust.
11 minutes in, make that 12 as we get onto that margin. Obvious over the wall, gets the voice spikes onto Libik, and we'll be using that Skull Crab to jump away using Headbutt. And everyone is posturing around this area again, gearing up for a potential dragon play. The vision game is now what the teams are after, as a bunch of trinkets have been changed out by these players.
Important moment in this game as Xaxus has hit level 6. It's a very late level 6, but teleport available. Has Tibbers available now as well, and that means Reason can't quite have the freedom that they've had. They're going to have to rely a lot more on good warding, which up in the top side of the jungle, you can see it's lit up in favor of Reason. They're going to rely on good warding and good objective control here to make sure that Xaxus can't just teleport in and slam down that Tibbers and get a multi-person stun.
Takefun maybe again looking for the deja vu moment in the mid lane, using Deathmark again, but doesn't get in range for that. SozPurefec backs off. Bottom lane, though, will be going over to Reason.
And the funny thing about that mid lane matchup is every time Takefun goes aggressive, SozPurefec just backs away to that inner turret to get the added shield, because it's just a little bit more difficult for Takefun to all in through that shield. So it's just the fact that SozPurefec is using the map advantage to his advantage as well.
So in the bot lane, 2 minion wave advantage going over to Celaver, plus that kill has resulted in a pretty early Trinity Force. Again, we're seeing this story. 13 minutes is not bad at all, but take a look at Sedrion, only sitting on his Avarice Blade and BF Sword. Yeah,
he's opting for, you know, towards that second item first, and Sedrion is going to suffer a little bit, and considering Sedrion shouldn't really have been pressured all that much, Celaver pretty much just had a very easy time in that top lane. He's ahead in a second game in this series. Celaver may be looking to make that big statement that he did in game 1. Teleport coming out to the top lane, though.
Yeah, Kubon heading into the fray, throws the equalizer over the wall, but Xaxus was already past that, and that's a big cooldown going down for not many or no real result. Obvious now, just in this jungle clearing this in a way, and that's a lot of cooldowns burnt.
That's interesting placement on the equalizer as well, because I mean, if Annie was going to flash over, she'd just run straight into you. So I was expecting it to go kind of along the path and just do as much damage as possible. A little bit, I'm not sure what Kubon was doing on that one.
I guess it was a warning shot up against Xaxus. Only level 7 here.
I think Xaxus has had enough warning shots in this game. He is 0-2 so far. But again, he may be down on CS, but it's not done and dusted by any means necessary. Xaxus still has major engage potential. Once that lands, you follow up with the damage from Ahri and Lucian. Kha'Zix gets the resets. There's still very much so a team composition that can fight to regain the advantage right now, but it is a big gold lead in favor of Reason.
I do wonder if Xaxus will opt towards the distortion boots as well, because remember when we used to see the support Annie, that's what they would try and do. We'll take a look now at the Alistar. Libik roaming into the top lane, looking for this dive onto Xaxus. We'll have to flash away, so that's a summoner burnt. And we just spoke about how crucial that flash is to his combo.
Yeah, and that is going to be the turret going down because of it. They can just tank this one up with Libik there, and Xaxus just has no impact on the game. The impact that he's going to have from just being in top lane and having to fall back is that the dragon is going to go down, but that was an inner turret for Dragon 1. And I wouldn't actually say that that is going to benefit nfaculty too much at this point in the game. If they get a couple more from it, it will add up.
There's the equalizer. This time it will completely cut off Obvious. Jukes into the bus. Sedrion is there to meet him. And mid lane, though, it will be Libik and Celaver going up against the attackers here. And they take down the middle turret, now pushing onto the second. Have a 5,000 gold advantage, very reminiscent of the first game, but this is ramping up in terms of objectives very quickly and more so from the first.
You can see, though, that nfaculty is still trying to think on their feet, figure out what objectives they can take from it, but Reason are just too strong right now that they're just taking towers left, right, and center. This is a lot of damage going down onto an inner turret this early on into the game.
Reason Gaming don't show too many signs of letting up either, just waiting for the next minion wave to come in. They will carry on pushing. 4 towers at 16 minutes is something that nfaculty have to stop in its tracks.
And nfaculty have quite a large problem right now in the fact that they've not really got anybody that's going to be able to soak damage, and the fact that Reason are ahead makes that even more of an issue. With Kha'Zix going Warriors now into Brutalizer as well, he doesn't even have boots yet to be able to be more mobile, but there is nobody that can take any of the damage from Takefun.
So every single lane, when we're now out of the laning phase, we can look back at these. Kubon was ahead because of the lane swap up. Mid lane is ahead because Takefun's on his most favored champion. You can see that in the gold totals as well. 1,600 gold advantage in the mid lane alone. Likewise in the top lane. Bottom lane is the one that's a little bit more equal, but still a 14,000 gold, or rather a 1,400 gold difference in the bottom lane is massive.
The item difference, on the other hand, though, is a little bit deceptive just because of the amount of gold that Lucian is sitting on. Takefun should be able to get away from this.
Or he can just try and destroy Perfect on the way out. Picks up the kill, doesn't quite do it. The death mark jumps out the way of Living Shadow, and both mid laners survive on inches away from death.
I was saying he should be able to get away. He made it look a lot more difficult than it should have been. Obvious he's still around. Libik is up.
But this is a support versus the jungler right now. But here comes Xayoo, 1 versus 2. Not able to escape from this as the cocoon comes down in the grasp of the Spider Queen. Sinks her fangs into Kha'Zix and picks up the kill.
Obvious just tried to buy as much time as he could with that smite at the end. Get anything he could from that little skirmish. But it's a tough position for nfaculty right now. They are completely up against it. Xaxus doesn't even have the beginnings of an item, let alone tier 2 complete item. It is a horrible spot for them to be in. They need to get an engage out of Xaxus, use that Tibbers, get a couple of kills, and try and get something working here. It's been a low-kill game because Reason are just running their advantage into turrets.
But still, Reason Gaming have to be wary of the fact that they do have that flash Tibbers in a minute or two, because he had to burn the flash a little while ago, but they still have that AoE Tibbers. Oh, there's so much damage from Takefun and the rockets from Celaver. And they have to be in fighting shape to go for a team fight.
I mean, Obvious only just came back from the base.
Right.
He appears, loses all of his health, they lose a turret, and bottom lane is getting pushed as well. This is just an insane lead for Reason Gaming right now. Charm has landed, but they can't follow up.
PureFect lands the charm, but they need more than that. They need the damage follow-up, and the question is, does Xaxus have it? Sitting on pretty much no components of a big item, has double Doran's ring, plus Sorcerer's Boots and an Ampto.
He's at 55 CS right now, and we are 19 minutes into the game. I mean, that's almost unheard of. And I don't know whether it's the pick or Reason's start to this game. I haven't seen enough games of Annie top to really talk about how it should do in a laning phase, but clearly Reason found its weakness and is just going to say, hey, we'll swap up into the top lane.
And Takefun in the bottom lane uses the Living Shadow, gets near to Sedrion, which will force his flash. That's a big summon to burn. But going back to that Annie once again, this is not only a pick that hasn't worked out, it's a small sample size, yes, but Reason Gaming capitalized on it immediately. Those early game talks that we could see resulted in them saying, okay, we need to disrupt this, and that's exactly what they did. They sent 3 people up there, they sorted out the minion wave, and Xaxus just had to roam around the map as a level 2 Annie.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Crepo's breakdown on that level 1 play.
Yeah.
Because that's not something we see too much. And, you know, he loves talking about the beginning of the game, how you start up that laning phase. I think that is going to be very insightful as to how this game started. But 3-0 scoreline. It hasn't even been that bloodthirsty a game right now. Reason are just playing a far smarter game than we've seen from them this tournament.
And they won't take away that blue buff small constellation prize. And 6 towers have gone down to Reason Gaming, all of the outer turrets, all of the inner turrets. And now nfaculty have to just sit inside of the inner ring of inhibitor turrets now. But can Reason Gaming close out this game? They are 9,000 gold ahead. It's a huge margin. But as we saw last game, they are playing very cautious when it comes to finishing out games. They play it methodical, but maybe a little too slow. And that will give nfaculty a chance maybe to open up an advantage.
It may very well do. Kubon forced to flash away.
SozPurefec right on top of him, but turns around with the equalizer. The damage from this flame spitter as well is so much from the Liandry is ticking down, and in a 1-on-4 almost takes someone with him.
There's just too much damage on Reason, and remember, nfaculty actually got the first dragon here. Oh, it's okay. Takefun is far enough ahead that it doesn't even matter that he didn't get that kill at that situation. But Reason have so much damage, and nfaculty were the ones to pick up the damage increase from the first dragon. So now the dragon is up again. Reason are really going to start punishing nfaculty when they start turning it on. Maybe they won't even go for dragon. This is a very early call for Baron, but if ever I've seen a team far enough ahead to do it, potentially Reason are, but Flash Tibbers is available. And do not underestimate Annie with Flash Tibbers.
Well, Takefun is on guard duty here as the mid laner, 1-0-0. A large amount of farm, 190 at this stage, has the Blade of the Ruin King, which again will be amplified by his death mark. But Reason Gaming decide better of it. Dragon has spawns, and they'll be trying to take this one away as a much easier objective to take. Oh, rocket over the wall, though, from Celaver, secures the red buff. And did he even have that warded?
There was a pink ward on it. Looks like it was blind. I didn't quite catch that myself, but speaking of wards, is actually top lane.
Yeah, and Xaxus did not catch this one. Tick, tick, dead. And Xaxus goes down again. 3 kills, or rather 3 deaths onto that Annie. 4 of those kills are onto Reason Gaming so far. Another dragon goes down here, Stress. 10,000 gold advantage, and nfaculty look like they're circling the game. only 22 minutes into this one.
There's a staggering lead here out of Reason Gaming, and they have full control of the Vision game, and Faculty did just secure a couple of wards in their topside jungle, but the fact of the matter is Reason Gaming are already pushed out past those wards, so it's all well and good seeing them in there. But when they're right in front of your inhibitors, there's no guesswork to do with Reason being quite this close up.
But they're looking for the siege now in the middle lane. The shield comes up onto the tower. nfaculty as well, just trying to do as much as they can. The flash Tibbers as well. They go in for the engage. They pick up one onto Celaver. Libik is going down. They pick up 2 kills. And this is nfaculty coming back in full aggression.
This is exactly what the Annie pick is meant to do. Flash Tibbers, so much damage and so much crowd control. And we said nfaculty have this in their toolbook. Reason Gaming just cannot underestimate it. I don't know why you'd step up that close, knowing that Tibbers was available.
Well, here comes the Equalizer coming across. We'll clear out the minion wave, but Tibbers will do his job, tank up the turret. nfaculty are coming back into this just by a little bit. They've taken an inch, but can they take a mile?
Yeah, it's still a very one-sided game so far, but the fact is, nfaculty, that engage, we've seen Reason stalled out. And that'll make Reason think twice again, because we saw them have 3 inhibitors down in the last game and still not choose to end it because their Baron wasn't there. So now that Reason tried to push in, I'm not sure what Celaver is doing here, stepping up so close. Howling Gale lands, flash into Tibbers, and that is pretty much a dead Celaver. Can't Valkyrie away from that situation. That's just that's over-aggression. That is overconfidence when you're ahead.
And this is what nfaculty want to happen. This is what their composition was looking for. And Xayoo may be caught out here as the Howling Gale comes across. The rest of the team is there to help him, though, especially with Takefun up to the top side, not the engage that nfaculty want. Maybe they will be a bit too aggressive because they were stepping foot inside of their own jungle, which is just peppered with all of these wards from Reason Gaming.
I feel like nfaculty realized their situation in this game, though. I think that would be far too optimistic for nfaculty, but this is a call that Reason should be able to make. They have enough control to see Kha'Zix coming. And the question is, will he ult and try and jump in and steal here? You have to feel that's going to be exactly what nfaculty are going for. Reason are pulling away from this Baron. They had it at a 3rd health. Takefun looks like he wants to go in over the wall here, but Reason are being very indecisive. They have the vision control. They could see that nfaculty weren't quite there and could have looked to burst it down. Obvious is very squishy right now. Doesn't even have level 2 boots, no tank items. Very easy to stop.
Many of the members from Reason Gaming there were very low or getting chunked from Baron, and nfaculty as well. There is a lot of indecision now coming out from Reason Gaming. You pointed out this yourself, Stress, but after that initiation with Annie, this has really just put them on the back burner. They were aggression, all cylinders were firing, and they were constantly pushing, constantly getting these objectives and pushing their advantage. And now they're just wandering through their own jungle, clearing out these minions, and there is no decisive call. That may be what nfaculty needed just to put them or halt their aggression from Reason Gaming.
It's certainly going to go a little bit of the way. And nfaculty right now, a couple of players still. Xaxus, no full item yet on Annie. He's actually building bits of items right now just to try and get anything he can, get a bit of cooldown reduction, get some AP. Right now, he's just reduced to a bit of a stun bot. He is just a Flash Tibbers engage for the next 10-15 minutes of this game. But if Reason let it get that far, that is a big oversight by Reason, by how they've been trying to finish this game up. They tried to push an inhibitor down by Celaver pushing up very close to the turret, and it's one problem they're going to have because for the majority, Reason don't exactly have that many ranged champions. They've got Corki and Elise who can, attack from far. Apart from that, they have to step very close, and that means you have to have great wave clear. And on the side of nfaculty, their wave clear is not too shabby when you look at it. Ahri and Lucian can easily defend.
Well, Sedrion has maybe been caught out here. Celaver putting down a couple of rockets. Big one goes wide of obvious. Top lane, though, Reason Gaming saying, okay, I guess you're in mid lane. We'll take this opportunity to push up your top turret, and they do respond in time.
But again, with that many melee champions, you can't step forward. You risk the Tibbers engage again, and this is going to become a problem for Reason Gaming, that without nfaculty making a mistake, it's going to be very tough. And I'm having, oh wow, obvious.
This could be the mistake though. Mountain gets caught out, the equalizer goes down, he should be falling. Flash over the wall, Kubon with the flame spitter. That was the mistake they were looking for, but can they take anything off the back of it?
I was just about to sing nfaculty's praises about not making mistakes when they're pushed into their base. SozPurefec.
He gets caught out here, and Takefun going 1-on-5. He goes down, but is it enough damage with the death mark? No, it is not. Ignite is still ticking, and he survives. So the support overall for the AD mid laner, not a worthwhile trade for Reason.
And again, indecisiveness by Reason. They ping the dragon, they ping Baron, they ping red buff. They're trying to go mid as well at the same time. Reason just don't have any options that are clear in their head right now, even though they have a big gold lead. Let's go back a good few weeks to the Gamers 2 series against nfaculty. The 60-minute game where Xayoo played Jax. nfaculty did a great job of turtling up, and this is a very similar situation, that nfaculty have a composition that can still win this game. They just have to not make a lot of mistakes. Ultimately, in the end of that, Gamers 2 did end up winning after split pushing with Jax, but it did take 60 minutes and drew everything to the super late game.
And now we're in this game, we may have a rinse and repeat, as Reason Gaming are literally just bouncing back and forth between objectives and not really doing too much apart from someone getting caught.
And Takefun now needs to go to the solo lane. He's been hanging around in the jungle looking for these 1v1 picks that he's just kind of walked into 4 people. Takefun needs to go and split push. Reason need to be decisive and take Baron, put 4 in one lane, Takefun in the other. Nobody will be able to take Takefun 1v1, especially with the Baron minions. And nfaculty are just kind of grouping in a bush, and they can't really do anything from here. Reason need to take the initiative.
And so far, they are doing less than nfaculty, because nfaculty are the ones who are pushing out, trying to gain some vision control in the jungle. Obvious is moving up here.
Takefun's pushing up in the top lane, which is good. I don't quite understand why Kubon isn't down in the bottom lane. Takefun
maybe called out. The second charge of Spirit Rush comes through. Sedrion going for the 2-on-1 here. Takefun again, does he have the damage? Xaxus takes him out. SozPurefec again will not be falling to the death mark. And Takefun again, the over-aggression will lead to his downfall.
Reason are giving nfaculty too many picks right now. It was 3-0 for a good 15-20 minutes of this game, and nfaculty have now started to get back into this. Honestly, I think Kubon needed to go down to the bottom lane, make sure it's shoved all the way in. He has teleport available for any kind of Baron attempt, and punish nfaculty. Ooh!
Celaver briefly gets caught out, has bought a Quicksilver Sash just to try and get out of that CC from nfaculty, and that did save his life there, as Xaxus did catch him out. But while Tibbers is down, he didn't use Flash for it.
Yeah, but actually, yes, that's a very good point. I was going to say that's now a big engage tool, but the fact that it's only the Tibbers is a big plus for nfaculty right now, as this game has really started to heat up in these last couple of minutes, as Reason have not been decisive at all.
Yeah, this game has been blown wide open now, and you can see that nfaculty are even stabilizing the gold totals, now only around 7,000, 8,000 gold behind. Before it was 9,000, almost in approaching the 10,000 mark, and they've managed to collect another turret as well. Reason Gaming have literally picked nothing up for the last 10 minutes.
This is what Kubon needed to do. You saw it briefly. He's down in the bottom lane, pushing it in. Teleport's still available. Distortion boots on Annie. It was suggested earlier it would be a good pickup. He's picked it up. Knows he needs that extra flash. Another important item as well. Sedrion now has his Quicksilver Sash, so that Takefun is no longer able to take him out of this game. I wonder whether we'll see Zhonya's out of SozPurefec next. Baron has been started. Kubon is in the bottom lane, and I think they actually just spotted Obvious down on that bottom side. I think Kubon just saw him in his vision range, which means there's no smite available. Kubon's going to teleport. I don't even know whether the teleport's entirely necessary, but he uses it.
Xaxus over the wall here, will not be able to pick it up. That will be smited away by Xayoo, and he goes down to a 1-0. Libik was also low, but will not be falling. Triple pink wards, in fact, make that 4 pink wards. They had absolute control around the Baron pit, and now they have the Baron itself.
nfaculty knew they couldn't give away the Baron, and Obvious down in the bottom side of the jungle, when they don't have control over that Baron area. You can see 4 pink wards out on the map, so a little bit of mispositioning positioning out of nfaculty, and maybe that's the death knell here. Perhaps for Reason, now that they've got the Baron buff, they have the split pusher and Takefun, and the rest of their team fight is far stronger right now, provided they don't get caught by a stray Tibbers flash now not available for it. nfaculty are going to be under so much trouble here as they start pushing into the base.
So nfaculty, they just have to hold the line, but it's going to be incredibly difficult. Takefun, yes, he's been caught out twice, but he's still been farming during that time. 270 farm, again compared to SozPurefec. We saw the exact same thing in this last game, and almost a 4,000 gold advantage, more like 350. But he's still way ahead of his counterpart of SozPurefec, and you can see that in the items.
Here comes the siege, though. And this siege is made even more difficult by the fact that Celaver really shouldn't be in a position to get caught out. But the fact they're all melee means it drags him forward, and Libik has a harder time peeling for him. Xaxus has no flash. Takefun is now in the bottom lane. This is what they need to set up, and you can see Libik is just kind of popping up into this top lane. Make sure you get the Baron buff on the minions and then kind of come back down to rejoin the team. Now the full team is going to head up there as they're trying to spread nfaculty as thin as possible. They need a good engage from Xaxus if they want to try and defend this tower. He's angling for it, but no flash is making it very difficult.
Well, time is running out. The tower's down to 25% HP and the minions are still hammering away at it. They need to make a decisive decision, but Xaxus without his flash is making it very difficult. SozPurefec and Takefun down in the bottom lane. You have to feel at some point someone's going to die down there. Takefun is just itchy on the trigger finger and has the Quicksilver Sash as well, just in case he gets charmed. But the top turret goes down, and faculty have to give this away. Here comes the Death Mark. Will be using the proc there, will again not take him out and has to use his own Quicksilver Sash, but it doesn't matter all that much because the bottom turret goes down, the top inhibitor goes down as well, and Reason Gaming are taking another methodical approach to ending this game.
They are. This one might be a little bit tougher though, because although they're ahead, everybody is still alive out of nfaculty, and Reason are taking a lot of damage, and they're going to get forced away.
Whoa, Xaxus deleted here by the Razor Shurikens from Takefun and the rest of the long-range poke, but Reason Gaming are taking a bunch of damage themselves. This is still very precarious. Obvious takes a hit from Celaver, chunks him down incredibly low. The flash, the cocoon, that will be the support going down to make that the mid laner as well. SozPurefec still alive. Xayoo goes down to Sedrion, but a dash from Takefun. He actually doesn't die either. The flash, the auto takes down his opposing AD carry from Celaver. A 3-for-1. Reason Gaming are still very low. What can they do from here?
Sedrion got absolutely deleted, but in goes Obvious.
SozPurefec drops very low. He takes down Takefun. The major part of this fight. Obvious is chasing after the AD carry. Celaver kiting away with Valkyrie. A 2-for-2 in terms of who's dead right now. 9 and 6 on the scoreboard, but the middle turret looking to be sieged as well. Xaxus back from base.
This is so messy out of Reason Gaming. They have had such an advantage. Then they get Xaxus without him even using Tibbers. And they had Baron, and they can just push in, but they don't want to. They're looking for these picks. Yes, they can blow up Sedrion, but the death time is still fairly low. That Xaxus rejoins that fight at the end. nfaculty are barely holding on in this game.
They're barely holding on, but every time Reason Gaming slip up slightly, nfaculty capitalize on that. And that's what's been keeping them in the game. They are team consistency. Every time the opponent makes a small slip, they will just go off the back of that and try and punish them as hard as possible, as they have been doing. But it is important to mention, off that last push, they took 2 inhibitor turrets, 2 inhibitors as well. And those super minions are starting to be a major factor that is keeping nfaculty suppressed.
Yeah, nfaculty are just stuck in their base for now. There's no way they can contest this dragon. This is Dragon 3, and it's going to reset. It's been a little bit of a messy game, just all around, with regards to jungle camps and resetting. But Reason have struggled up until now. They've kind of put everything on Takefun's back with regards to taking people out for nfaculty. But this is the last inhibitor tower remaining. It is going to fall. And again, Xaxus Flash Tibbers is available, but it has to be good. This has to be a game-saving Flash Tibbers if they want to engage on this.
Well, he just popped his elixir, so he's got a small boost of damage as well to try and augment that damage. Middle inhibitor should be going down. Xaxus inches away from landing this. If it's going to happen at any time, it has to be right now. But he drops low. He has to go back to base, and the rest of Reason Gaming are knocking on their front door.
But Reason are still stacking in this kind of weird situation. They can't group like this. Celaver and Takefun were standing on top of each other, and that is prime targeting for Xaxus. They're pushing in. It has to be now for Xaxus.
They keep grouping up, but the Quicksilver Slashes come in. Xaxus drops. Obvious has to move away. SozPurefec gets deleted. Double kill for Celaver. It was too little. It was too late. Mountain goes down for the triple for Celaver. Takefun now chasing onto Sedrion and Obvious, and they are trying to put up a defense, but it's not going to happen. Shut down onto Corki, but the 4 members of Reason Gaming are battling down onto this Nexus itself. They take out the AD carry, and they will be taking game 2 of this best of 5 in the elimination match in the LCS expansion tournament.
Reason Gaming from minute 1 stamp their authority on an unorthodox pick in the top lane of Annie top, and Xaxus just couldn't get into the game. He was half the CS of Kubon for so long in that game and just became an engage tool, and it just wasn't enough. Much better out of Reason with regards to their game plan. We'll see if they can continue it for game 3, but that was a lot more of the aggressive Reason that we needed to see.
But it just shows us these curveball picks don't always work out. We've seen so many of them over the last couple of months, and they've actually mainly done well, but this is an example of them going wrong, and that was really just from Reason Gaming with that 3-man push initially, just completely rippled throughout the rest of the game.
It really did, and the ripples were just felt all the way through that game. Reason had such a big lead, but there are still problems there for them. They struggled to close that game out. You saw Celaver step forward in front of an inhibitor and get Annie stunned right under the tower. 2 people die, and from there, nfaculty extend the game for a little bit longer than it should have been.
Yeah, we saw what the composition was meant to do, but they just couldn't repeat that as we went into the rest of the game. But we are going to throw it now over to the analyst desk to break down that game.